Hello again, everyone. My name is Levi Sauerbrei. You can find me on social media at NerdButler, or you can check out nerdbutler.com for more content. So we are on day 14 of our 30-day challenge. I am in a parking garage, as a matter of fact, at the Kansas City International Airport, getting ready to head back to Dallas. And if you've been watching the last 3 days, you saw our ransomware series. But today, I want to talk to you a little bit about traveling with tech and what you should take, what you shouldn't take, what you should think about, what you should leave at home. So here we go. When you're traveling and you are any kind of professional that needs technology, not just an IT professional, but anybody who needs to use a laptop to log into their work email, anybody who needs to produce documents or spreadsheets or do photo or video editing, there's a lot of stuff that has to come with you. So let's talk about what the smallest amount is and then at the point at which it gets to be too much. The basics for everybody is a laptop. Now, there are some folks who travel with only an iPad that has a keyboard with it, and they do really well with that, and that works particularly well for travelers who are more what we call productivity workers. So they use spreadsheets, they use Word documents, they check a lot of email, they don't really do any media editing, they don't really do any programming of any kind. They're just interacting with sort of the Office suite of documents. But for most professionals, you're going to travel with a laptop. Now, how big that laptop is and all the other features of it are either determined by the employer who gave it to you, or they're determined by your personal preferences. I travel with the lightest laptop I can get away with. So currently I have a ThinkPad X270, which weighs just under 3 pounds. It's got a 13-inch screen, and that sucker is awesome. It's not the most powerful in the world, but 3 pounds to me is sort of the magic line for laptops. Above 3 pounds, you get a lot more features, you get a lot more power, computing power, but below 3 pounds, they're so much easier to carry. So 3 pounds for a laptop is what I consider to be sort of the magic mark for something that I'm gonna travel with on a regular basis. Not just taking it home and then taking it to the office, but like putting it in my backpack, getting on an airplane and going somewhere with it. 3 pounds is my limit. So that means I have a slightly underpowered laptop, but it's okay. It gets all the work done that I need to get done. What you should bring and what you shouldn't bring. If you have a laptop and you have the power brick that came with the laptop and you travel a lot, it would be worth you investigating finding a travel power adapter for your particular brand of laptop. I know for Lenovo, I was able to find one that was basically the size of the cigarette lighter adapters that go into cars. Now, it plugged into the wall, but instead of having a brick that was about the size of my fist, I ended up with something that was about the size of like 2 tubes of chapstick with a wire coming out of it. That freed up so much room in my bag, and it was really helpful. That travel charger also happened to have a USB port on the cord, so then I had one more place where I could plug in my phone to charge or my extra battery bank to charge. Speaking of battery banks, this is something else I highly recommend you travel with. It's not just your phone anymore. You're gonna have headphones, you're gonna have your Kindle, you're gonna have your iPad. All of these things need to be charged up. A backup battery bank is gonna save your life. If you've ever been in an airport and you've seen people who have wedged themselves between 2 vending machines just to get to the outlet so they can plug in their phone for 15 minutes to get a little more power, you'll know what I'm talking about. Travel with a battery bank. It's gonna make your life easier. And what I would recommend for a battery bank is that you don't go with a small one. The way they're measured is in milliamp hours. So your phone probably has a battery in it between 3,000 and 5,000 milliamp hours. If you have a 10,000 milliamp hour power bank, you can recharge your phone from completely empty to completely full 2 or 3 times, depending on your phone. If you have a power bank that is, let's say, 4,000 to 5,000 milliamp hours, that is basically one full recharge of your phone, and that might not be effective for you because you're gonna have to recharge that battery once you've done that once. Have at least one of each kind of cable you need. That seems like a no-brainer, but people forget that all the time. You end up buying cables at a really high markup when you're out on the road because you forgot something, and maybe have a spare. Your phone dying is probably one of the most distressing things that can happen to you while you're on the road, because quite often we have all of our hotel reservations on there, we have directions to where we're going on there, we have our boarding pass at the airport on there, we have our car reservation information on there. It seems like kind of a silly thing, but your phone dying at an inopportune moment is really distressing. Other things that I travel with that I really like, that I enjoy and are always in my travel kit, is a little kickstand, a little pop-up stand for my phone. So when I'm on the airplane or I'm sitting somewhere with a table, I can prop the phone up and watch a video. I always carry a small notebook, like the old flip style reporter notebook, because you might need to scribble down a phone number or something. Again, if your phone happens to die and you're without a pen and paper, you're really kind of stuck. Having a pen and paper handy is always a good idea. That's really almost everything I travel with. Everything else I've got is some addition for what I'm trying to do for content creation. So I had the little microphones, I have my selfie stick, a few other things. But if I had to go somewhere and act as a consultant or just, be a professional, my laptop, my phone, the power bank, and then the cables I need to charge all of those devices would be the whole thing. If I take all of those devices and I set them down on the table, they're gonna weigh less than 5 pounds, maybe right at 5 pounds. When I put that in my backpack along with a couple changes of clothes and my toiletries bag, that ends up being a kit that I can really very easily haul around, whether that's for a weekend trip or a business, 3-day business trip somewhere. That gets really, really easy. Keep the amount of tech you bring with you on a trip to a bare minimum. I have brought lots of things with me that I have never used. And if I don't use something for 2 trips in a row, I leave it behind on the 3rd trip. I think that should be your rule of thumb. Start with a bag that is not huge. The bigger the bag is, the more stuff you're gonna wanna put in it. So pick a bag that you're comfortable carrying and then fill it up with stuff until it's full, and then make some really hard decisions about what to leave behind. Bring the things that matter to you. Don't bring the things that don't. If you don't use something 2 times in a row, leave it at home. Guys, this has been day 14 of our 30-day video challenge. I really appreciate you tuning in. We are just gonna keep cranking through these. We're almost at the halfway mark. I'm super excited to get back home tonight and do some editing with this. Tomorrow we are gonna be back for day 15, and I hope you will tune in. We'll talk to you all soon. Bye, everybody.